And the best part of this plan is, no one can stop me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, a day after witnessing that caged bull going through any and all hurdles, you have to understand that I personally believe this is the most bullish time to get into the crypto market right now. All of you know we're in a confirmed bull market. You saw the halving take place. You saw a Bitcoin ETF get approved. You saw an Ethereum ETF being ready to be launched. But we saw a pullback in the market. And now people are bitching and complaining about Bitcoin's price. Well, how about this? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I believe we are at the best moment in time to buy some hyper suppressed altcoins right now. And in my OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/thebearablebull, I have begun purchasing cryptos for the first time in a while. And I believe those altcoins that I purchased in my recent OnlyFans video will absolutely make life-changing gains for plenty of you, just like we've already made gains on others. This batch of coins may be one of your last chances left to get truly life-changing ROI before it's too late, heading into the true bull run into 2024 and 2025. Now guys, something else I want to bring up is Monica Long recently just had an interview, and she is Ripple's president. A lot of people have stated it's impossible for XRP to get an ETF. A lot of people have called it some hype and hopium. Well, in my personal opinion, you better listen to what the elites have to say. Monica Long and Brad Garlinghouse stated at different times it's very sensible for an XRP ETF to come down to horizon. And because of a court ruling last year, Bitcoin and XRP are the only two assets in crypto in America with clarity from the government. An XRP ETF is inevitable, and it will make similar price action to what we've seen with Bitcoin and Ethereum happen with the XRP chart.
Because we were just talking about ETFs, I think it would be very sensible for someone to launch an XRP ETF. XRP has been, trading is one of the within the top 10 for how long? Maybe its entire life. And on the top exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken, it's certainly in the top 5 of daily volume. Oh, the other factor there, because of the court's ruling last year, XRP and Bitcoin are the only two crypto assets in the United States with clarity from the government. That's pretty meaningful. We're all excited about the ETH ETFs coming up, but I'm also excited to see more.
Now, what's so meaningful about this, my friends, is because I've long been teaching every single one of you of how you can decipher the lizard talk whenever any of these reptilians speak. You see, there's a difference between a private sector company like Ripple, whose executives have to be responsible and have to build credibility amongst a community. They have to be responsible with their mainstream propaganda, their mainstream marketing, the messages they put out to a community because they're new. Ripple is just a new fintech company, and they are still going through regulatory hurdles. So this new fintech company that just so happens to be partnered with over 500 institutions, including central banks, they are more honest than the CEO of Vanek, who isn't beholden to anybody. The CEO of Vanek stated just a little while ago, I don't think we'll have many more ETFs for many years to come. 3 hours ago, the CEO of Vanek announced that they filed for their first Solana ETF. Isn't that absolutely unbelievable? Do you see how these elites like to manipulate you? It's very clear to me. And increasingly every single day it's becoming more clear to all of you. And this is why this is important. We as a community are over here finding out in real time when all these different institutional products are happening. And here, Matt Hugan from Bitwise was on the Thinking Crypto channel, and I'm going to play you a clip of him discussing when he believes a Solana and XRP ETF are on the horizon, because Solana and XRP are the two next in line to be approved for an ETF.
There's been a lot of talks about other altcoin ETFs, given that Ethereum is now getting its own, and it's in the altcoin category outside of Bitcoin, of course. There's talks of Solana, there's talks of XRP. What are your thoughts, given that the process is usually there needs to be a futures market first, then come the spot ETFs?
Yeah, I love your pillows, and we're working down them as fast as we can. But I think the last point holds with it, which is without a regulated futures market, it's really hard to get a commodity ETP through the SEC. In fact, it's never happened, not in the history of commodities. There's never been a commodity ETP, and that's what these crypto ETPs are, that doesn't have a related futures market that you can surveil. So I think we will either need futures to launch on Solana or XRP on the CME, or we'll need major legislative progress. Look, eventually I think we're going to get there, but I think you're talking 2025, 2026, 2027. I know that's an eternity in crypto years, but the Bitcoin ETF suggests it's worth the wait. So I would just say keep that in mind.
Now, as you guys just heard, there was a prediction made that likely these next set of ETFs need to happen after some type of futures market action. Isn't that right? Remember, we did get Ethereum and Bitcoin futures first before the ETFs. So we may need to see Solana and XRP futures first here in the United States. However, he also gave the stipulation that we need to see massive regulatory progress in order to see these Solana and ETF and XRP ETFs get passed. And here, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and quite literally tell all of you that the SEC may cost Joe Biden this next election, as here Stu Alderati stated another court has slammed the SEC, and this time it's for unlawfully rescinding a rule for proxy advisory firms without adhering to the Administrative Procedure Act, and the court explained that Gary Gensler personally directed this illegal move. More illegal and unjust actions by the SEC causing the crypto community to call him out on his bullshit. Coinbase as well is looking to file a lawsuit because the SEC has improperly blocked document requests. And yet again, here was a moment in time from the Paul Barron Network where Gary Gensler was asked if his actions are costing Joe Biden the upcoming election. And yet again, he doesn't answer a damn question once in his taxpayer-funded life. And Brad Garlinghouse gave him the business. All this slander about all crypto execs need to go to jail from the man who completely missed FTX and actually cozied up to Sam Bankman-Fried and wasn't even invited to the DOJ announcement about Binance. If he really was working for the American people as he says, he would have been fired a long time ago. And Gary Gensler will cause Joe Biden to lose the election, in Brad Garlinghouse's words. And quite frankly, my friends, I can't stress this enough. The crypto community, I believe, makes up around 50 million voters here in America. And that is enough to sway who gets elected. Donald Trump is garnering attention from the crypto community, while Gary Gensler, under Joe Biden's regime, is pushing it away. Remember that the first presidential debate between Trump and Biden is happening in real time. And I believe crypto will be a main topic of discussion. But right now, please watch Gary Gensler as he refuses to take any accountability.
$120 trillion capital markets, and lo and behold, I made it 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and now you bring up crypto.
Other legal
I know
challenges
it gets views, it gets clicks for Bloomberg.
Well, people are interested in this. You, Mr. Gensler, could, quote, literally cost Joe Biden the election. What's your response to this?
I'm going to be easy with you, Anne Marie. I don't speak about elections.
You don't have a response to Mr. Cuban?
I don't. I just really, look, my role as a securities regulator.
Are you surprised by the political movement we've seen around crypto?
With all respect, I hope your listeners understand. That's my role. Other people can speak about elections.
The election is coming up, though, and although your term...
Anne Marie!
Although your term
Take
is...
3.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. There is not a single person in the world that would allow Gary Gensler and his Mr. Burns looking ass to take over the crypto space and stifle the fourth industrial revolution. We are going to get over the top regulation. The SEC is being pushed out of the way as we speak. And here, MiCA regulations will go into effect shortly. And here, something else that I want to point out is that there was feedback given. This feedback statement stated that it should be read in conjunction with public consultation. And in here it states that MoonPay, Gemini, Kraken, Matheson, Coinbase, Ripple, and EMA all submitted a reply. This means that Ripple has their fingerprints on this MiCA regulation going into effect in the EU. And that's only a couple days away. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think it's a coincidence that we have right now in real time a Ripple stablecoin going live? While simultaneously MiCA regulations are going to go into effect, stablecoin legislation will be passed in America. And Tether is over here being openly scrutinized by Brad Garlinghouse, the Ripple CEO? Absolutely not. Guys, I stated a couple of weeks ago a prediction based on this Ripple stablecoin, and that got picked up in an article that I want to highlight very quickly because I can't seem to find my old tweet. I stated that this Ripple stablecoin is going to be a pivot away from XRP sales as their main source of income. Ripple cannot go public and IPO with only one source of income, and that being XRP sales. We have to remember that XLS30 automated market makers are live. This is going to bring more utility for XRP down the road. Remember, Ripple acquired Medico and Standard Custody, and this is a massive infrastructure play for Ripple to get a new income stream through their custody services. I can't stress this enough. Remember, Ripple's partnerships to help tokenize assets. Remember, an XRP ETF is being discussed by Brad Garlinghouse and Monica Long. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition, Ripple's stablecoin will be another revenue source, and fees will be collected by Ripple down the road that will ensure that this happens. This is what I want to point out to every single one of you. We're going into a new regulatory environment. We are going to a better crypto ecosystem. And specifically, it's a better crypto ecosystem for XRP adoption. Ladies and gentlemen, XRP was never meant to thrive in an environment without regulation. And now that regulation is coming to the forefront. 99% of cryptos will die, and the rest, the ones that survive, will be consolidated to the top and take over the majority of the crypto space. Now, to cap off this video for today, I have to give you yet another reminder. I have to give you a reminder because, quite frankly, you cannot forget that Ripple announced earlier this year that a gold-backed stablecoin is coming to the XRP ledger this very year. A lot of people hate gold being tied to XRP because, quite frankly, there was a lot of speculation a couple years ago about the price of XRP being pegged to the price of gold. This is not that. This is me letting all of you know that the tokenized value of gold can come to the XRP ledger while XRP runs the way it's supposed to, independent of the gold price. See, these are two very different things. This is not a gold-backed XRP. This is XRP liquidity. transferring the value of gold. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with 2 videos for the day. One posted by DAI showing how high the price of gold could go. And another one posted by Mr. Man XRP showing that the Bretton Woods 3 envisions a new global monetary order centered on commodities such as gold. And in my personal opinion, and the opinion of many others, there will be a revaluation of the gold price. There will be a reset of the financial system while they're systematically bulldozing the US dollar down. New currencies will come into effect. A new currency system will take its place. And a basket of commodities and digital assets, in my opinion, will be revalued in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's natural market forces or whether it's government intervention, the old system will die. And like a phoenix rising out of the ashes, the new one will be born. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, I'd highly recommend purchasing your offline hardware wallets, as I personally prefer the Decent wallet for my self-custody purposes because of how many different cryptos you could store relative to wallets like Ledger. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I still have Ledger Nanos, but I also use the Decent wallet quite a bit, and I highly recommend all of you get one as well. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
I would tell you that there's a very high probability that by the end of 2024, it's much higher. It will continue to make new highs. Yeah, gold will in terms of dollar highs. And look, I think it will go higher than anyone thinks possible. I'll put it to you that way. And in particular, if it will be pegged to a new system, whether it be BRICS or West, it will have to be much, much higher. It's funny, if you look at all of the central banks and their balance sheets, gold is held in an account by the name of the gold revaluation account. And you got the finance minister or the head of the Dutch National Bank who said we should revalue gold to get our balance sheet in order. That's what has happened here in the United States before, right over my shoulder. And would it happen again? I don't know. But I do believe the only thing that I can tell you out of 34 years in finance is that markets go higher to the upside than anyone ever thinks possible and fall to the downside more than anyone thinks possible. I think gold will outperform just about everyone's expectations because it will be the cornerstone to inspiring trust in whatever new system arises. So higher than anyone thinks possible. What is the time frame? Don't know. I don't see things in a short-term prism. I only look at the inevitability or the big picture. And to me, the big picture is exactly what Zoltan Pozsar says. It's a system that's all about commodities. And because of the distortion on the exchanges that can rehypothecate and sell over and over and over and over and over again the same amount of contracts, we really don't even know what the real price of gold and silver should be. But it's a lot higher than it is right now, I know that. And I would bet that the next time we talk, it will be markedly higher than it is today.
Do you think that we're headed towards some kind of a monetary train wreck, given the fact that governments have so abused the market process?
I don't know how the current financial system is going to survive. So many things are just fictions. Things are being papered over left and right. I have suspected for a few years that central banks will get in front of this problem by mobilizing gold back into the financial system. I don't really expect a gold standard, and I don't advocate a gold standard. I advocate a free market in the monetary metals because I think that will accomplish the objectives of a gold standard better than the gold standard itself would. But I will not be surprised if we wake up some morning or turn on the nightly news before going to bed some Sunday night and find out that the G8 or the G20 or the IMF or some of those guys have been meeting, if not at the Plaza Hotel in New York, as they did in 1985, have come to some new currency arrangement. And perhaps they will announce that central banks will start buying gold at $5,000 an ounce, perhaps in the name of helping the poor countries where gold is mined, or perhaps very candidly in the name of reliquefying central banks themselves, those that still have sufficient gold reserves to reliquefy themselves with. I believe it was Lyle Gramley, a former member of the Fed's Board of Governors. If it wasn't him, it was another former member of the Fed's Board of Governors who was on Business News Network in Canada a year or two ago when he was getting hit with pretty serious criticism of the deterioration of the Fed's balance sheet. It's, you know, taking all this crappy paper to rescue various financial institutions. And Gramley or the Fed governor, whoever it was, volunteered to the reporter that he was overlooking something, and that what he was overlooking were the 8,000 tons of gold on the books of the United States government, on the books of the Fed, that were being valued only at the antique price of $42.22 an ounce, and that if there was a market revaluation of this gold, Gramley said, the Fed's balance sheet would look immensely better. Well, this was something that was volunteered by a former member of the Fed's Board of Governors. It signifies that, you know, maybe the Fed thinks about gold a lot more than we do. Gold revaluations have been used in the past for national reliquefations. Roosevelt did it back in 1933 and 1934. A British economist named Peter Millar a few years ago wrote a paper on how the revaluation of gold has been used throughout history to avert debt deflations and reliquefy the financial system. I'm pretty confident it's going to happen again.